Everyone, this is Surf. Hope you're doing well. Before I go on, all praise and glory goes to the Most High, to the One, to the uncreated Creator. Forever, ever be His glory. Today I wanted to share you some information from the second book of Adam and Eve, and it's about the devil and fallen angels and how they try to trick you and bring you off course, and the solution about it. I hope these informations will be useful to you. Pay attention and let's go. We will do reading and listening. So I already opened the PDF. We go to the second book of Adam and Eve. Let me find chapter 17 so we are ready. I hope you will be able to read this, and I will give you an audio reading next to it.
So this is from the book of Adam and Eve, and it's the second book of Adam and Eve, not the first. And this is chapter 17, and Jared turns martinet. He is lured away to the land of Cain, where he sees many voluptuous sights. Jared barely escapes with his clean heart. So pay attention. Then Jared kept his father's commandment and arose like a lion over his people. And he fed them in righteousness and innocence, and commanded them to do nothing without his counsel. For he was afraid concerning them, lest they should go to the children of Cain. Wherefore did he give them orders repeatedly to continue to do so until the end of the 485th year of his life. And at the end of these said years, they came unto him this sign. And Jared was standing like a lion before the bodies of his fathers, praying and warning his people. Satan envied him and wrought a beautiful apparition, because Jared would not let his children do aught without his counsel. Satan then appeared to him with 30 men of his hosts, in the form of handsome men, Satan himself being the elder and the tallest among them, with a fine beard. And they stood at the mouth of the cave, called out Jared from within it. He came out to them, and he found them looking like fine men, full of light and of great beauty. Satan can appear as an angel of light. He wondered at their beauty and at their looks, and he thought within himself whether they might not be of the children of Cain. And he also in his heart said, as the children of Cain cannot come up to the height of this mountain, and none of them is so handsome as these appear to be. And among these men there is not one of my kindred. They must be strangers. See, they're not like normal men. They're much larger and much more beautiful, ruggedly and handsomely constructed, like athletes, like the Olympics. Then Jared and they exchanged a greeting, and he said to the elder among them, O my father, explain to me the wonder that is thee, and tell me who these are with thee, for they look to me like strange men. Then the elder began to sweep, and the rest swept with him. And he said unto Jared, I am Adam, whom God made first. And this is Abel, my son, who was killed by his brother Cain, into whose heart Satan put to murder him, which we can read all about this in the Book of Mormon, pearl of great price. I believe it's in the Book of Moses. Then this is my son Seth, whom I asked of the Lord, who gave him unto me to comfort me instead of Abel. This is the one of my sons Enos, son of Seth. That other one is Canaan, son of Enos. And that other one is Mahalalel, son of Canaan, thy father. But Jared remained wondering at their appearance and at the speech of the elder to him. Then the elder said to him, Marvel not, O my son. We live in the land north of the garden which God created before the world. See, they can't get out of this place now. They're stuck because they're already dallying with the daughters of Cain. See, they're stuck. They can't go anywhere. He would not let us live there, but place us inside the garden below which ye are now dwelling.
Boom.
So imagine being on this mountain and looking down and seeing the produce of this Garden of Eden. Or maybe it's another garden, but it's nonetheless. But after that I transgressed, and he made me come out of it. And I left to dwell in this cave. Great and sore troubles came upon me. And when my death drew near, I commanded my son Seth to tend to his people well. And this is my commandment, is to be handed from one to another unto the end of the generations to come. But, O Jared, my son, we live in beautiful regions, while you live here in misery, as this thy father, Mahalalel, informed me, telling me that a great flood will come and overwhelm the earth. And we know that the Anunnaki knew about it because it's talked about in the book of the Lost Book of Enki. Therefore, O my son, fearing for your sakes, I rose and took my children with me, and came hither for us to visit thee and thy children. But I found thee standing in this cave weeping, and thy children scattered about this mountain in the heat and in misery. But, O my son, as we missed our way and came as far as this, we found other men below this mountain who inhabit a beautiful country full of trees and of fruits and of all manner of verdure. And it was like a garden. So that we found them, we thought that they were you, until thy father Mahalalel told me there was no such thing. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my counsel, and go down to them, thou and thy children. Ye will rest from all this suffering in which ye are. But if thou wilt not go down to them, then arise, take thy children, and come with us to go to our garden. Ye shall live in a beautiful land, and ye shall rest from all of this trouble which thou and thy children are now bearing. But Jared, when he heard this discourse from the elder, wondered and went hither and thither, but at that moment he found not one of his children. And he answered and he said to the elder, Why have you hidden yourselves unto this day? And the elder replied, If thy father had not told us, we should not have known it. Then Jared believed his words were true. So that the elder said to Jared, Wherefore didst thou turn about so and so? And he said, I was seeking one of my children to tell him about my going with you, and about their coming down to those about whom thou hast spoken to me. When the elder heard Jared's intention, he said unto him, Let alone that purpose at present, and come with us. Thou shalt see our country, if the land in which we dwell pleases thee. We and thou shall return hither, and take the family with us. But if our country does not please thee, thou shalt come back to thine own place. And the elder urged Jared to go before one of his children, and came down to counsel him otherwise. Jared then came out of the cave and went with them and among them, and they comforted him until they came to the top of the mountain of the sons of Cain. Then said the elder to one of his companions, We have forgotten something by the mouth of the cave, and that is the chosen garment we have brought to clothe Jared withal. Then he said to the one, Go back thou someone, and we will wait for thee until thou come back. Then we will clothe Jared, and he shall be like us, good, handsome, and fit to come with us into our country. Then the one went back, but when he was a short distance off, the elder called him and said, tarry thou until I come up and speak to thee. Then he stood still, and the elder went up to him and said, one thing we forgot at the cave, it is this, to put out the lamp that burns inside above the bodies that are therein. Then come back to us quick. That one went, and the elder came back to his fellows and to Jared. And they came down from the mountain, and Jared with them, and they stayed by the fountain of water near the houses of the children of Cain, and waited for their companion until he brought the garment for Jared. He then, who went back to the cave, put out the lamp, and came to them, and brought a phantom with him, and showed it to them. And when Jared saw it, he wondered at the beauty and the grace thereof, and rejoiced in his heart, believing it was all true. But while they were staying there, 3 of them went into the houses of the sons of Cain, and said to them, bring us today some food by the fountain of water for us and for our companions to eat. But when the sons of Cain saw them, they wondered at them and thought, these are beautiful to look at, and such as we have never saw before. So they rose, and they came with them to the fountain of water to see their companions. And they found them so very handsome that they cried aloud about their places for others to gather together and to come and look at these beautiful beings. Then they gathered around them, both men and women. See, these are always beautiful. These angels are. Samael's an angel. And the elder said to them, we are strangers in your land.
Samael in the Targum of Palestine is the angel of death and the father of Cain. Just to let you know.
Bring us some food and drink, you and your women, to refresh ourselves with you. And when those men heard these words of the elder, every one of Cain's sons brought his wife, and another brought his daughter. And so many women came to them, every one addressing Jared either for himself or for his wife, all alike. But when Jared saw what they did, his very soul wrenched itself from them. Neither would he taste of their food or of their drink. And the elders saw him wrenched himself from them. And he said, be not sad, I am the great elder. As thou shalt see me do thyself in like manner. Then he spread his hands, and he took one of the women, and 5 of his companions did the same before Jared, that he should do as they did. But when Jared saw them working infamy, he wept, and he said in his mind, my fathers never did the like.
Boom.
They did. But when Jared saw them working infamy, he wept, and he said in his mind, my fathers never did the like. He then spread his hands and prayed with a fervent heart and with much weeping, and entreated God to deliver him from their hands. No sooner did Jared begin to pray than the elder fled with his companions, for they could not abide in a place of prayer.
Pay attention.
Did Jared begin to pray then? The elder fled with his companions, for they could not abide in a place of prayer.
They could not abide.
Did Jared begin to pray then? The elder fled with his companions, for they could not abide in a place of prayer.
Boom.
You need to remember this. They cannot abide in a place of prayer. Then Jared turned around but could not see them, but found himself standing in the midst of the children of Cain. He then wept and said, O God, destroy me not with this race. Talking about Cain. Concerning which my fathers have warned me. For now, O Lord God, I was thinking that those who appeared unto me were my fathers, but I have found them out to be devils, who allured me by this beautiful apparition until I believed them. But now I ask thee, O God, to deliver me from this race among whom I am now staying, as thou didst deliver me from those devils. Send thy angel to draw me out of the midst of them, for I have not myself power to escape from among them. When Jared had ended his prayer, God sent his angel in the midst of them, who took Jared and set him upon the mount and showed him the way, gave him counsel, and then departed from him.
Boom. So this is from the second book of Adam and Eve. You've seen how angels tried to deceive Jared to bring him into sin. You can download these books even for yourself and find them in internet. So I hope this was useful, and all praise and glory goes to the Most High. Be safe.